Are you tired, irritable, or regularly experiencing headaches? Or perhaps you just can't sit still? Have you been coming down with a cold every other week? Or constantly navigating tummy troubles? Is that shoulder or backache still stubbornly bothering you? And on top of that, you seem to have a new pimple every day. In any case, if much of this applies to you, you may be stressed. As the World Health Organization defines it, stress is a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. But how can worrying or mental tension make you sick? If you delve into reading about stress, one hormone inevitably pops up, the stress hormone cortisol. When you're stressed, either from an imminent tiger attack or a fast-approaching deadline, a cascade of events occurs within your body. Your nervous system will initiate your fight-or-flight response, and your adrenal glands will release adrenaline, giving you an adrenaline boost. If the stress persists beyond a few hours, the amygdala, the part of your brain that senses danger, will alert another part of the brain called the hypothalamus. This will cause a cascade of hormones to be released. Cortisol and adrenaline together give rise to the feeling of stress and affect every organ. They increase blood pressure so that you get enough oxygen. Cortisol makes extra glucose and fats available to your body, especially your muscles and your brain, from which your cells can derive energy. With extra energy, you are able to submit your term paper before the deadline hits. If cortisol-induced high blood sugar levels remain sustained for a long time, it can hamper how well insulin can do its job, and eventually throw off how your cells use sugars and fats. This can lead to type 2 diabetes. Cortisol could also be the reason you're gaining weight. There is evidence that chronic stress influences the way the body stores fat. Have you ever felt like downing a bucket of ice cream or devouring a full pizza after a long, hard day? Science calls this the comfort food hypothesis. First, cortisol controls insulin levels, which cause your blood sugar to drop. This makes you crave sweet or calorie-rich foods. Second, higher cortisol levels activate the amygdala, which makes you engage in pleasurable or compulsive activities. If you've ever gotten sick after a stressful exam week, you understand that cortisol affects the immune system. Over long periods of sustained stress, cortisol prevents certain immune cells from dividing so that they can tackle a pathogen, especially viruses. This is what may be leading to your cold. Cortisol also increases something called inflammation in your diseases, such as heart disease and atherosclerosis, where fat deposits inside the blood vessels restrict blood flow to that area, diabetes, and even aging. Stress also directly affects your brain's functioning. Chronic stress can rewire your brain to remember things, and there is even evidence that the part of your brain that forms long-term memory, the hippocampus, shrinks under the strain of long-term stress. Beyond memory, the various stress hormones and inflammation can disrupt the brain's functioning. This can lead to a broader impact on mood, cognition, and brain health, and also influences behavior like concentration, decision-making, and social interaction. Cortisol heavily affects sleep, and a dysregulated amount of cortisol can lead to poor sleep, which further worsens brain health. This all links chronic stress to developing depression, anxiety, addictions, and an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease in some people. So, is it all doom and gloom? No. Even if you can't eliminate what's stressing you out, you can learn to respond to it differently. The first is pretty common advice. Exercise, meditate, take time for yourself doing things you enjoy, stay hydrated, and try to slow down your breathing. There is evidence that these activities dampen the effects of cortisol and stress on the body. Second, changing your relationship with the stressor can also help. Looking at what's stressing you out and trying to change your perspective on it could help you feel more motivated to work through the stress. A mental health specialist can certainly help with this. Being stressed all the time, around the clock, isn't normal and shouldn't be normalized either. Yes, everyone will feel stressed sometimes, but if it persists, it may be time for us and society to find a healthier balance.